One morning, I came down the hall at KMOX to razz Jack, who was in the middle of an interview with Tommy Lasorda. Instead, Jack called me into his little studio and proceeded to give me holy hell about my tie. I did tend to wear ties that were rather loud and wide, I'll admit. Still, it was good to hear Tommy come to my defense. Hey, quit giving the kid grief. I like it. Well, that stopped Jack in his tracks, and I loved it. Here now is our second installment of Jack Carney, Springtime and Baseball.
Hello, sports fans. This is Biff Burdens in the sports room with another sports interview today with Dilbert Dibby Gluck, the manager of the Olmsted Omelets. And Dibby, how do you think the team is going to look this year?
Well, Biff, I think they're going to look like they did last year, unless we make a few changes. As you know, last year was probably one of the worst years we ever had.
That's
Next
right.
to the year before that, which was the worst.
It's been continually getting worse with each succeeding year.
And hope springs eternal in the breast of a baseball manager, Biff.
Well, then that means...
I feel that if I get a couple of good starting pitchers who can go all the way, pitch 9 innings...
Then the picture will be a little bit different, is that right?
A couple of relievers who can come in and put out any fire that may break out. And if I can get a guy behind the plate to catch him, I got a lot of savvy in handling pitches and a rifle arm to discourage base stealing.
Right. I understand last year you were
what
kind of weak down around first base. What would you do about that this year?
Well, I'd like a first baseman who could hit that long ball, Biff.
Do you
Naturally,
have one?
I like one ahead. No. But we're looking. I tell you what I want. I want some slugging outfielders. I want them badly.
That's always good to have, of course.
And we have a bat boy who's made me and the players a nervous wreck. This kid is Gloom Incorporated. He sits in there going, boy, that other pitcher's sharp as a nail today.
It doesn't have much
The guys
confidence.
ain't going to hit him, he'd say, and I keep telling him, shut up.
It kind of takes away the confidence of the Omelets when they're sitting in the dugout.
So if we can make these few personnel changes, Biff, then you can...
How about coaching, Dibby? Do you have a good crew of coaches?
Well, I've been called worse than Dilly by some of the other players. Yes, I'm anticipating some changes. See, I want a coach who can give signs and understand them when I flash them.
Well, now it looks as if you're going to need quite a lot to get the team in shape. Practically every position needs a little work done. How do you figure you're going to end up at the end of the season? We've been chatting with the manager of the Olmsted, Ohio Omelets, Dibby Gluck, and we want to wish him all success in the world. Dibby, thanks for dropping by.
A lot more than luck.
So long.
Here on the comedy show. Here's another sportscaster from Detroit, as it happens. Here's Al Ackerman with umpire Red Jones.
Ty Cobb and Babe Ruth have to be the two greatest names that have ever played baseball. I would have to say that. Cobb was what did he win the batting championship 12 times or so? Tremendous time. But there is a story that you tell, and there's a sports columnist who says that he knows you, Red, very well, and he says this is his favorite story. And it has to do with Ty Cobb and a young pitcher who really thought he could do the job.
I know the story, Al. I happened to speak at Saginaw, Michigan, at a big civic club up there, a combination of the clubs. They had a big crowd, and they introduced this pitcher from the audience. He was an elderly man in his 70s. This has happened several years ago. And this man pitched for Saginaw in the old Central League, and he won 21 and lost 2. He was a left-hander, and he took a bow from the audience and acknowledged that he had that record. Now, this goes back to 1910, 1911, and he was a cocky kind of a guy, so the Central League closes on Labor Day, so there's a month there until the American League season rings the curtain down. And this young fella wrote Huey Jennings, the manager of the Detroit team, a letter and said, quoted his record, of course, and said, I am positive if given a chance I could come down there and strike Cobb out 4 out of 5 times. You just let me pitch, and I'll strike him out 4 out of 5 times. Well, they didn't have time to let him do that, but they were impressed with his letter and his nerve and everything, so they sent for him to come down. And the fielding practice is over and the batting practice is over, and they let this youngster warm up on the sidelines, and Jennings goes out with a bag of balls, and they call Cobb up. And they tell him that they're going to let him pitch 5 balls to Cobb. So he did. He threw the 5 pitches, and on the first 2 pitches, Cobb hit blue darters, frozen ropes, right down the foul line. Fair ball, and the chalk flew up. And on the next pitch, he straightened up and pulled it right out to the flagpole in center field, right against the fence. And then, now, on the next 2 pitches, he nearly tears the right field wall down. At least he moved it 2 or 3 inches. And Jennings says, well, there you are, son. He said, there's your 5 pitches. He said, what you got to say for yourself? The kid said, hell, I don't believe that's Cobb.
That's umpire Red Jones. Our topic on the comedy show is baseball. I'm Jack Carney. We'll take a minute out, and then we'll continue.
My music store really had the blues. I didn't know how many drums I had in stock. And I had 500 more clarinets than I could sell. Instead of ordering banjos, I ordered ukuleles. I don't even sell ukuleles. And don't ask me about my tubas. My inventory was a disaster. Now, I heard that IBM made small computers for small businesses like mine. So I bought a small IBM computer for my inventory, and now I know what to order, when to order, and how much to order. And these days, my music store is working in total harmony. But best of all, IBM sells so many different kinds of small computers that I told my brother to buy one for his business.
For more information, call IBM toll-free at 1-800-631-5582. That's 1-800-631-5582.
Is baseball, and the people responsible both for the games and for the broadcasts. I think there's no better play-by-play announcer in either league today than Jack Buck, the voice of the baseball Cardinals, the world champion baseball Cardinals. Jack's enormous talent and versatility enables him to sit in the booth and call a baseball game, play-by-play, and do an interview with a guest in the announcer's booth at the same time. During a Cardinal game in Los Angeles, Jack was visited in the booth by the legendary batting ace, Whip Willis.
Yeah, I think you remember me as Whip Willis, and now I'm just back to Lamar Jean Gumbard, my regular name.
Nobody calls you Whip anymore, do they?
Well, the missus does. She calls me Whip, and that's how she remembers me in the minors and in the majors.
Here's a foul ball hit by Tyson, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Whip, you just retired, doing nothing now, huh?
No, I'm refinishing used mobile homes.
Uh-huh.
And I'm doing a lot of fishing. I've got a bait shop up in the High Sierras. Some guy threw a stick of dynamite in the bait shop, and I don't know why he did that. It didn't go off, so nobody's hurt, but...
Scared you a bit.
Well, I fell down. I mean, I thought I had a full one, you know.
Here, the bouncing ball to second, fielded by Lopes. Thrown to first, and he gets Tyson. Whip, is baseball any different than what it was when you were playing? How many years did you get in, by the way?
Well, of course, we never got the money these guys did. I was playing, you know, for $200 and $300 in the minors, and then we'd come up... No. I mean... Maybe we'd get at best, $2,500, and then a lot of that was double headers. And at any rate, the salaries today are just a man can make big money. They're making big money. I went up to 12.5. That's the best I ever got.
Uh-huh.
And I was pitching double headers and everything.
The same day you pitched both games. I remember that one you had.
Yeah, you remember that one?
I do.
I had a shutout and I had a no-hitter, but they never recorded it because it was an electrical storm, and they claim people got excited and forgot, and it was incredible. That's the reason I quit baseball. I quit when I was 28. I know. I had some bad breaks.
You were so good, people didn't believe you were doing the thing
Well,
you
I
were
hit
doing.
my lifetime batting average is .416. That's not bad for a pitcher.
Best ever for a pitcher.
Best ever. I've never made Hall of Fame, but I had a lot of pictures took of me at home.
Whip Willis. Here's a swing and a miss by the pinch hitter, Kessinger. They tried to put you in the nursing home last month, didn't they?
Yeah, my children did.
No,
and I've
nice
cut them
of
out of the
them.
well.
What?
I cut them out of the well
They
for
just
trying to
want-
put me in the home.
They just want to see you comfortable. that's
Well,
all.
I just hit my one boy. I dropped him like a bad habit.
Kessinger with 1 out takes the ball high, and it's 1-1. Did you ever think, Whip, of getting into our profession, that is sports announcing, play-by-play, and things of the sort? I mean, you know the game so darn well. A swing and a miss by Kessinger. He's in the hole 1 and 2.
You know what I would like to get into is, I believe, a sporting goods shop. I love to, the feel of a bat, and I think all day long, whether you sold nothing or nothing else, just gripping a bat, sitting there in a chair and playing with a baseball, just staring through the window, waiting for folks to come in, kids and guys and stuff.
You still have that much energy, eh?
Oh, I still got every bat I ever used. From the time I was a kid, I've got every glove I ever used and every ball.
Kessinger with 1 out. Called out on strikes for the 2nd out of the inning. Kessinger batting for Carroll is down on strikes, but I thought with that...
Is this going back to St. Louis, Missouri?
Certainly is. You pitched there, didn't you?
Well, I
Sportsman's
pitched
Park?
there, yeah. I remember Dizzy.
Hot days, I bet.
Yeah. The humidity killed me a lot. I could... A lot of times...
You drank a little bit, too, though.
I did drink a little bit.
And a lot of
I
day
drank...
games
I
after.
always made my own stuff out of shaving lotion.
Uh-huh.
And I never put nothing on my face. I just...
How frequently you come to the ballpark, Whip? Whip Willis, former big league ball player, is here at the park tonight.
When did I come?
How often do you come?
Oh, well, if I ever get a free pass, I usually just pull right in over at the parking lot, and lay maybe a quarter, 50 cents on the guy where he can put my car so I can get out.
With a mobile home. Now, your wife is in the home, out in the parking lot now.
She's out there listening now, and she just gets scared of crowds. She was in a crowd in the circus when she was a kid and the tent
worked
collapsed.
in the circus, you mean? Oh.
No, she didn't work in it. A tent collapsed on her, and I believe it was Cole Brothers. I'm not sure. She was never sure. She's never been right since, I'll tell you that.
And
that's the reason she's out there in the park now.
Well, I hope she's comfortable. Now, listen, we got Yeager coming up here, and Urea is the pitcher. Now, can you keep those names straight and give us a little play-by-play?
I believe I can. I've never did this. I've never been up this high before. I've been high, but I've never been this high. So if I tend to, it's Yeager now. He's got a real good stance out there, gang. He's bent over is what he is, and he's got that stick in his hand, and he's going to hit this thing if he can. There it is. That's a shot. That'll drop in there. That's dropped in there for a single. And he's on first base. Yeager, the catcher for the Dodgers, right by George. That's just something else. He hit it clean, and you'll find that this is the thing to do, sport fans. Don't try to hit it out of the park like a first baseman did. What's his name for the Dodgers?
Steve
Garvey. He's good, but you shouldn't try to hit it out of the park all the time because that just ups the score and makes people mad for the other. Just drop singles, and you won't get the team mad at you so much.
Now the batter's Hooten, the pitcher.
Hooten, yeah, the pitcher. He'll drop a bunt. There he is. That's bad bunt. This boy has not had time in the cage, and you put a man in a cage and he'll bunt right. It's according to what kind of cage you put him in.
That's a foul ball, strike one. Yeager broke his bat when he singled. Now, if you own that sporting goods store you're talking about, he'd be there tomorrow buying a new one from you.
He would if he might not, knowing I'm not for the Dodgers. He might go to another store. I'd look to have this boy to pull a bunt down if he can. I think he's going to pop this up, I'll tell you the truth.
Score is 8-1. Why is he bunting?
Why is he bunting? I think the Dodgers at this stage are greedy.
He bunts to the pitcher, Urea, who gives it to Tyson covering for the out. That's the third time that he's bunted well. Now, he's been practicing.
The third time. I'm going to put that down. I want to get his picture autographed. I never did it over once. Davy Lopes has had his problems. His fingers hurt and his feet and his back, but the man always carries his money on him. That's an interesting thing. One of the few ball players, I was told, I don't know if it's true or not, has his wallet on him. In case he's kicked out or has an argument or wife problems, why he'll just carry.
Run around at second, 1 out.
Oh, that was ball one. That's what that is. 1 out. One ball.
You root for Cincinnati, right?
Well, I do. I was brought up in that area. I was brought up in Bellbrook, outside Dayton. A farm boy. Used to paint rusty John Deeres. That's not much, not too exciting. That's the reason I went to playing ball. We used to play in open fields, We threw rocks.
What do you use for bases?
Well, I'm sorry you asked me that. That's something that you don't use but once. I tell you, you slide into first and it's all over.
Batter Bill Russell from Pittsfield, Kansas.
Boy, there's a nice town. tornado could have took that at any time, but I guess it didn't. I wouldn't live there, because of tornadoes. I wouldn't want to live in cellars. I love sunflowers, but I hate tornadoes. My brother was in a hurricane in the war in the WW2, and he was took up in the air for 3 days. He had his best liberties then.
Runner on a third, 2 out, and ball 1 to Russell.
Almost hit him.
That's what you used to do.
I'd hit a guy. I'd get of course, we had them headliners, or them hatliners, what they're wearing now. And I used to hit a guy just to see if he's awake, and see if he could shake his eyes around his head.
Here's a swing and a miss by Russell, a ball and a strike.
One guy I used to call Orphan Annie was Bob Brixon. He played for,
Why did they call him that?
Well, that was his name. That's why they called him. If he called him anything else, he'd hit you. But they used to call him, his nickname was Orphan Annie because he'd get hit so many times his eyes would roll up in his head and it'd be nothing but white, and he'd look, like Orphan Annie had.
Could he hit?
He got hit 58 times one year.
Here's a strike call to Russell, and it's 1-2 with Urea on the
I bet
mound.
these people love these interruptions, with a game just sort of secondary and a dummy like me announcing. I feel bad. I'm going to let it alone here pretty soon.
That's Jack Buck with Whip Willis. Whip Willis, perhaps more familiar to you under his other name, Jonathan Winters. Baseball on the Comedy Show. I'm Jack Carney. We'll be back in a minute.
Bake someone happy. You and Betty Crocker can bake someone happy. Bake a smile for someone you care for.
When you get America to agree on something, there must be good reason. Well, America agrees that a delicious Betty Crocker Super Moist Cake, topped with rich Betty Crocker Creamy Deluxe frosting, is an irresistible combination. In fact, they're America's favorite cake and frosting combination, and with very good reason. Super Moist Cake has pudding in the mix to make it so incredibly moist. That's why it's called Super Moist. Creamy Deluxe frosting tastes so smooth, so buttercream creamy, like homemade. Put them together and they're so good they're America's favorite combination. Betty Crocker's Super Moist Cake and Creamy Deluxe frosting, America's favorite and bound to be a winning combination with your family.
Bake a kiss, bake a hug. Remember, you and Betty Crocker can bake someone happy.
This is the Comedy Show. Our topic is baseball, and we left you just a minute or two ago at a game in Los Angeles. Well, long before the Dodgers made their historic move to Chavez Ravine, they boasted the most loyal, if not the loudest, fans in baseball.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
That's what I like. Baseball. I don't like no winter sports. Skiing. What's that? Skiing. It's for kids, that's what it is. Me, I'm a baseball man. Not only I like baseball, but I'm a Brooklyn Dodger man. And don't laugh at us people from Brooklyn, because we know what we're doing. The rest of the world's mixed up. I'll tell you the truth, I like to give you an impression of a true Brooklyn Dodger fan. As you probably know, all ball games in Brooklyn start at 1:30. Game starts 1:30, 7:30 in the morning, you'll find this fella standing in line. 7:30 in the morning. He wouldn't wait on line this long for a job. 11 o'clock, he yells to somebody, anybody. Open the gates! You creeps! I'm sweating! My sandwiches are spoiling! Finally, they open the gates. If they're waiting in line so long, you figure this guy run to the front row, front seat, wouldn't you? Not this fella. His favorite seat has to be in the 15th row behind a pole. He don't like baseball. 1 o'clock, somebody in a subtle Brooklyn voice will suggest that the ball game is about to begin. Something like, "Here comes the Brooks. Who's pitching?" This fella says, "Let me look. I can see 20/20. 20 inches from one eye, 20 inches from the other eye. It's Oiskin. Oiskin! What are you doing? Throwing the game?" This fella says, "Let him pitch." This fella says, "I don't want it." This guy says, "Let him pitch!" Because I don't want it. You gonna let him pitch? Okay. You know, it wasn't for that fella said, okay, Oiskin would never pitch a ball game. Then the guy says, "I'll bet you $1 the first ball Carl throws is a strike. Put up or shut up. Put your money where your mouth is. I bet you $1 against your glasses.
and send you home blind. He's trying to ball a bet's off. Strike one! Ah, blind you. Cost me $50. This goes on until about the ninth inning when the Brooklyns are leading 2-1. Possible. So the fella in center field bleachers begins to talk to Oiskin, a pitcher, to hold the lead. Oiskin's only 10 miles away, but he's gonna hear my boy. My boy's talking pretty loud. He sounds something like, pitch him, Carl! I'm with you. I'm with you, Carl, baby. I'm with you. Ball one. Don't mean a thing, Carl. You can do it anytime you want, baby. You're beautiful, baby. I'm with you, boy. Away, Carly, boy. Ball two. Let's feed him the fair ones, Ice. Don't give him nothing to hit it. Throw the ball through his head, Carl. I'm with you, boy. Ball three. What are you doing? What are you doing? We took you out of the minors. For this? What are you doing? Ball four. Trade up to the Giants.
For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
That was Bill Foster, and our topic today on the comedy show is baseball. We're going to take a minute or two out and then be back with the second part of the show. We'll continue, of course, with the same topic, baseball, and you'll hear from Wayne and Schuster, Bill Dana, Robert Klein, Justin Wilson, Hudson and Landry, and many, many more.
Keep visiting. Next time, I'll tell you a little story about a conversation Jack Carney had with a young fellow who ultimately was to enter the Baseball Broadcasters Hall of Fame, who was seeking Jack's advice and counsel. Thanks for listening. I'm Ron Barber.